This week we have entries in Race A. I show you I'm the new DK in Race B. And Momoz is back in Race C. Hello everyone and welcome to week 12 of the Gran Turismo weekly race guide, and here we are in Gran Turismo 7. They've been updated today. So in the background we are at Tsukuba and we are in a Renault Clio RS220 trophy car. Now obviously this is a little hot hatch, a little hot circuit, and that's the way to go about it. Let's have a look at the race details then. We're racing 6 laps here at Tsukuba. It's a grid start. You will need traction control, comfort soft tyres, times 1 fuel, times 1 tyre wear, and it is a fixed setup. Although you can add a wing and some side skirts and a front bumper if you want. I don't believe it affects it in any way. So you should be golden. You could just change your car's looks a little bit, which is nice. We want that, don't we, in Race A? And that's what we wanted in GT Sport. Right, in the background you can also see some timestamps. So if there's a part of this video you want to skip to, there you have the timestamps. But let's jump to this race then and let's have a look exactly what happened, as well as a lap guide as well. Here we are then. Tsukuba, rev your engines. Remember, there is fuel consumption here, so revving it might just take off 1%, which is a little bit of weight saved, which is nice in these kind of cars. You can see that I've added a wing. Traction control on 1 and off we go. You might be able to do second gear in traction control because you do hit the limiter very quickly. So it's well worth trying that. But definitely you have to use traction control, at least at the start there. It just depends on the gears. Going into turn 1 then. Badger hits a Dane there. We get on the inside of somebody. So we're already up to P9. In fact, we're going to go up to P8 here straight off the bat. Look at that. P12 to P8. That's how you do it, folks. Turn 1. Stay on the inside there to be safe. Not like the Dane who went off to the realm. So into the left we go. That's somebody else out wide up ahead. They come back on there. That's Danielle, I think. There. In towards the right-hander we go then. And, oh, Duffrey gets it slightly wrong on the inside. Danielle's still off there. As we look on the inside, we just get it done. Look at that. Beautiful little cut back there in towards the right-hander. Again, first lap. It's better to be safe and stay on the inside here. As, oh, 2 more people off. We've got a Finn going wide. And this is P12 to P3 in 1 lap. Look at that. Destruction here. As, well, fair play to that one. But Cav in the lead here by a monstrous amount. Look at that on the map. Absolutely huge. But we're going to fight here with ST, smiley face. I like the nickname there. So through the right-hander we go, and we're going to get straight into this fight. Now, this car requires short shifting. So if you're a bit unsure why suddenly some people are going very quickly, it's a short shifted car. So basically shift when it's halfway on the bar, and you should be golden. So I was shifting just at 6,500, 6,000-ish revs if you're on bumper cam, of course. But I say halfway in the bar and you should be fine. In towards the left we go. Then we're getting closer, closer, closer. Oh, ST just brakes there. I'm not sure why they brake there. A bit of a weird one. So apologies for the hit, but I wasn't expecting to go 10 miles an hour there. In towards the right-hander we go, and we continue on racing here. Behind us, there's lots of side-by-side action. We're just pulling away from everyone behind. In fact, Danielle, who went off twice, I think it was, that we saw. Back in the... Oh, we nearly rear-end ST then. We nearly rear-end ST. Through the right-hander we go. And we've got a bit of a run here now. So remember, short shift the car. Always short shift this Clio and you will be fine. I'm not sure whether the wing is causing drag or not. No idea. I don't know how it works when there's a bop on and you can add a wing. I'm not too sure. But ST goes a little bit deep. We're going to get on the inside then. Lovely little cut back here. Round we go. Avoid going off on the outside of the curb in there. It's very dirty on your tyres. Do avoid it as we head in towards turn 1. We're just keeping it tight here, making sure we defend this line. And we are going to keep this position and up into P2. 5.5 seconds though off the lead. My word, Cav is flying. So lap guide time. First corner, 50 meter board. You're braking just before that. Just before it, and you're going to drop to 3rd gear. Now, this will seem very, very, very boggy in terms of the revs. You'll be like, no, it should be 2nd gear. Stay in 3rd, because it reduces the understeer from wheel spin, basically, and then the turbo kicks in. It's really well worth doing, so make sure you stay low in those revs. So, we're going to head towards this turn then. As the curb protrudes or comes into the circuit there, the most it comes into the circuit, that's your brake marker. Straight line brake all the way to the hairpin. Again, it's going to be 3rd gear, which is going to seem really slow now. If you look at this, 30 miles an hour, 3,000 revs. But look at it come out the corner. We then in the power band, and off we go. So for this right-hander, you're sort of lifting. You might want to dab the brake a bit like I've done here. And you want to turn in, let the car roll a little bit. You might want to balance the throttle about 25-50%-ish. But the critical thing here is, you notice I just roll and then I put the foot down. And I noticed I did it a bit too wrong. But if you balance the throttle, you're going to have to be concerned about understeer, which is why you might want to do it or you might not want to do it. It depends how you want to control the understeer. This hairpin then, that pole on the right side, as that hits the edge of your screen, brake. That is your marker here. I know there's a 50-meter board there as well, but it's harder to see than a giant pole when you're looking at the apex. And again, third gear. You notice how we leave that corner. We have to lift a little bit just to avoid going off, but it's the best way to do it. Third gear. And we have caught up a little bit of time to cav up ahead, but not too much. We've been very consistent with our laps. That 4-lap 5, 109.2s apiece. And as we head towards this last corner, we're now using the billboard on the right-hand side. As the edge of that blue billboard leaves your screen, brake. And you're going to trail brake. There's no dead grass anymore on the left that we can really use. So you can notice our trail brake here. You really want to be around 70 miles an hour and keep it there. I drop a little bit. And as you see those marshals on the inside, then accelerate through the corner. Last lap, you can use this curb. Any other lap, don't use that curb because it's very, very dirty. And we finish the race. Congratulations to Cav. Brilliant drive from you there. And great race there with ST as well. Shout out to you. But a bit of an interesting one. And that is race A. So an okay one. You can have a fun race here. Just be careful of the contact. It's very touring car-esque. Right, race B time, where we head to Brazil. Which, of course, means it's Interlagos. Yes, it's back. It's a balanced performance track, or used to be at least, for those interested. So in GT Sports, this is where the balanced performance was done. To, you know, it was like an overall balanced performance, so it was done here. And that's why the cars and races were always so good here in GT Sports. This is GT7. Let's jump straight to the race details first of all, and then we'll jump to car selection. We're racing fave laps here at Interlagos. It's a rolling start. Don't worry about that. It's racing hard tyres. Times 1 fuel and tyres, which does mean tyres need warming up, and it's balance of performance. No setups this week. It's all balance of performance. Now, in the background, you can see it's Group 3, and I specifically chose the Mazda, but I didn't actually. I actually chose the Audi first, but it was so sketchy in time trial, I was like, nah, I'll go with a Mazda. Now, a lot of cars are going to be more sketchy in time trial than the race because the fuel adds a little bit of weight over the rear end in most situations. So, you may find cars better in the race than time trial. So, you might want to pick a different car between the two. I went with this Mazda anyway in the TCR livery. If you do want to join TCR, Tidgney Community Racing, do check out the description. It's all about racing clean, respectfully, fair, and being trustworthy, of course, as well. And if you are that, you can join TCR. It doesn't matter about your driver rating or safety rating. Just join and represent and show you are a clean driver, and others will be able to have a clean race with you. Anyway, that's it for that. Let's jump straight to the race and let's have a look exactly what happened, because this one has a bit of chaos in it. Here we are then at the start. So you can see a mixture of cars. Peugeot and Porsche are well up there. Very stable cars. Genesis up there as well. I love that car. I wish I had it on my TCR account. I don't yet, but maybe soon. So, up ahead, we do see an Audi R8, which I was surprised about. The Peugeot going very slowly, which I also was surprised about. Now, I was going to weave here, but because the Peugeot was going slowly, I thought, ooh, chance of an overtake. As we head in towards turn 1, this Audi brakes so early. I tried to take avoiding action. They still make the apex easily. That's how early they broke. I mean, it is my fault. They still braked exceptionally early, but even so. We carry on. We catch up to them quite quickly because they're making a few mistakes. I think it's their first race with limited practice, maybe. I'm not too sure as Topster just goes wide here. So we're going to get down the inside. We're going to get that move done nice and quickly. Now, this Mazda wasn't that stable in some of these corners. You will see me short shifting, especially some of the more high-speed corners. So, you know, even these FR cars, they're still struggling a little bit. They are still struggling. So into the left we go, and the Peugeot up ahead. Accelerated on the curb. Spins round, does the old 360. So let's advance to the Castrol Supra then up ahead. The memories of Gran Turismo coming real here. Down the inside then. And again, job done. We went a tiny bit deep. Nothing major though. In towards this left, you're going to see a bit of understeer here. Just been on the hard tyre. Castrol Supra of Kano going for the cutback. That doesn't quite work. We've got a yellow flag that is staying on here. What has happened around this corner? We can see EErieissss in the distance as well. A shout out to EErieissss as we see Kyle just come back on circuit. I chanced it. That was a worthwhile chance because imagine if they'd unghosted then. That would have been carnage. So in towards the left we go. So yeah, EErieissss going full-time content creator. I wish him all the best with that. It's going to be a challenge initially, of course. But yeah, I'd say all the best to it. It's quite a leap as I've put on the video. And hopefully you do an Armstrong, you know. Giant leap for mankind, giant leap for yourself. And it could be very, very successful. So all the best to you. Right, back to the racing then. We've got a McLaren, a Corvette, and a Ferrari here. That's like the start of a joke. So we'll try to go around the outside of the Ferrari, clip the grass. But look at this. The drift. Oh, yes, a drifting move, but it doesn't quite pull off. But even so, well held. Now the McLaren just touches EErieissss here. We just got on the inside of the McLaren then at this point. The Ferrari's had a free run there and absolutely legged it. Cal comes back in the mix in the Genesis. I come across, get the slipstream. EErieissss goes defensive here. So I'm going to try around the outside yet again. The McLaren dives down the inside of both of them. And I don't know if he got it stopped or not, but we were around the outside at the time. We're then going round here. So we're still ahead a little bit here. We look in that wing mirror. There's a slight tap there between the two. That's a racing incident. It's just a case of Cal just not leaving enough while EErieissss was just coming back on circuit. Nothing major there. It's just leaving a little bit more space. EErieissss had to come on there, otherwise it'd be on the grass. So, yeah. It's just a bit of an awkward racing incident. Now, look at Lynch here. Had a penalty. The penalty line on this track is absolutely... It will murder you. You know, half a second is like 3 seconds. Do not get penalties here. Avoid cuts at all costs. But we get that job done on Lynch. Throwing it down in the apex here. We have to in this car because it is a bit oversteery on throttle in 3rd and 4th gear, especially. So you'll notice that I'm really balancing the throttle before applying it fully. And we're going to continue on then with a fight with Van Hinten, who managed to break away from that huge fight that was happening earlier on with EErieissss and Kyle and co. But here we go then. So we're going to go to the final lap with a lap guide as well. I know you've seen this plenty of times, but I need to explain something for turn 1 especially. Heading towards turn 1, I used the second red canopy on the left-hand side. However, I've highlighted the crowd here, not because I want you to use it, but in time trial, there's different coloured stairs there. Use the different coloured stairs in time trial because the canopies aren't there. I'm not sure why they're so different compared to GT Sport in this regard, but they are. So it's like offline time trial, basically. So look for the coloured stairs there and you should be fine. Be careful on this corner. You will suffer some oversteer, so you really have to be sensitive on the steering to make sure you don't do that, or short shift potentially to avoid that oversteer. Heading towards this left-hander then, it's our normal brake mark here. It's 100 meter board, or the end of the wall, or the marshal box to the right here that I haven't highlighted. Any one of those 3, really helpful, really handy. Just use them and in towards the braking zone. Now you want to clip the curb here, and it gets you around a little bit. Avoid the slippy stuff on the outside and continue on through. So heading up here then, we do have a normal brake marker. However, I'm going to start using the one I'm about to highlight, which is the marshal box. So when that marshal box gets very close to the edge of your screen, brake and turn in. It's a double apex. I do use the 50 meter board as well as a bit of a judgment call. It just varies. So you want to clip the first bit, you go out a little bit, and you want to clip the second bit. Do we clip it? We just miss it, but even so, we can carry on. Now the brake marker, everybody hates. It's that tyre mark that goes into the curb. It's the one I use here, so do use it to your advantage. If you're on the inside, use the billboards because they'll be on the edge of your screen then. But use that tyre mark there. So you want to clip the first apex. You come into this corner, you dab at the brakes, you're just letting the car roll through the corner, balance the throttle, and then accelerate when you feel safe as we head up to this right-hander then. So you're going to use the edge of the billboard on the left-hand side. Use that as your brake marker. So as that hits the edge of your screen, you're going to brake. And generally speaking, you want to do this in second gear. Doing it in first gear, you will just hit the revs and get loads of wheel spins. Second gear, roll the car through, accelerate slowly, and we continue on. Now, this corner, be careful. You might want to short shift here. I just let off a little bit, and I'm still not full throttle until I feel safe. Heading towards this left-hander then, the final corner. They've got rid of my piece of dead grass. But there is that fence instead there with the cross on it. So use that as your brake marker instead. I can't believe they got rid of my dead piece of grass. I used it all the time for 4 years. 4 years. And it's over. It's gone. But never mind. We're going to advance towards the start-finish line then. And that is the end of that race. So pretty chaotic in the middle there. Good little fight though, all the same, with the bit of chaos that was in. But that is it for race B. You will be able to have good races here. You'll be able to use a wide variety of cars. Obviously, the more stable, the better. But pick what you like, enjoy the racing, and have some good fun with Daily Race B. We know it's a good combo. It's used so many times before. We're using it again. Let's head to race C then, where we go to a track that's normally not very good, but it seems okay today. Welcome to Autopolis then. It's not a track that, as I say, I normally dislike, but I seem to have some decent racing here today, so maybe you can too. Of course, we're not in that big of a downforce car. It's Group 4. So that might help with the racing. But let's have a look at the race details then. We're racing 10 laps here at Autopolis. It's a rolling start. Do be careful towards the back. You are starting on a corner. Racing car tyres, ×2 fuel, ×2 tyre wear. So nothing major there. There are no pit stops. And it's balance of performance again. Fixed setups. so no need to worry in that regard. Now, I'm in the Supra, which nearly everybody should have from doing the career mode, I believe. So I went with that anyway. And it's an alright car here, to be fair. It is a good car. It's better than alright, I would say. So use it. You should be able to have some good racing. Let's check out that racing now. Let's jump straight to the race where we meet a familiar name. We are then at the start. So look at that. We've got Momoz. Momoz Dispatch. In fact, I was switching between the nicknames just in case somebody had given themselves the nickname. But no, it is the Momoz. The Momoz. Will meet Momoz later on. I will tell you that much now. Just a spoiler. Right, here we go. We've got Chad up ahead. What a Chad. So warm your tyres up, remember. Tyre wear means tyre temp. I'm going to say it every single time so you remember. Because I forget sometimes as well. Now head towards turn 1 here. And make sure you don't outbrake yourself here. And I'll point out the brake marker later on. But Chad brakes nice and early. Fair play to them in the Traxion.gg livery. And we're going to go down the inside of Chad then. Boom. Job done up to P13. Now, we didn't put a qualifying time, so now we did quite a few people behind us. But hey, we'll start here. Slight tap on the rear. Nothing major. They just got the braking slightly wrong. They're obviously just learning the track as we go. So we carry on with a Ferrari, and I'm not sure what's up ahead there. A Lamborghini as well. Now, this race is looking very diverse. A lot of people picking their manufacturer group 4, I suspect, for this race, which is fair dues. I can completely understand that as we then head in towards this left-hander then. Lamborghini going a little bit wide. The Ferrari just gets it all wrong. I think they went for a counter steer, and they just went wide there. But we're going to have a bit of side-by-side action here then with the Ferrari. Inks is their name as we head up then at what's going to happen in towards this braking zone. Down the inside we're trying to go, and we do get it stopped. Now these numbers are quite high on these cars. Is this overall ranking in the lobbies? I'm not too sure. This is interesting. We're going to head towards this next turn then, and what's going to happen down here? Ferrari had a bit of a look. Lamborghini goes a little bit wide here. Number 63. So these numbers are high. I don't know whether... Interesting. I'm interested. I don't know what they mean. We'll have to figure that one out as we continue with the battle. Oh, there's smoke up ahead. What's going on there? In towards this right-hander then. Oh, there's a Porsche off. It's Thierry. Not Henri, but just Thierry. As through there we go, and we're catching up to a big pack of cars here. Lamborghini gets it also. Is that handbrake? I'm not too sure. I don't know how they got it sideways like that, but they're going to dive down the inside then. Oh, Thierry as well. Wow, that's a move and a half. And, ooh, it's borderline, but we get the move done on Dave.com there. As through we go into P11 then. So this is obviously going to be a bit of a slipstream race here with the Porsche and the Lamborghini. And Porsche comes back in, so I go to the outside. I give them a bit of room if they want to go for the move as well. And down towards turn 1 then. Who is going to the realms? The Lamborghini. They forget to brake, unfortunately for them, but hey. We'll take that. So we gain 2 more positions up to P9 then. And look at this. We've got another group of cars. Here we go then. We've got a Supra this time. We've got the Genesis. And we've got a Ford Mustang, I believe. Yes, we do. As we head down in towards turn 1 again then. And the Genesis just comes across there, which just causes a bit of awkwardness. They hit the Mustang. And they just got that all sorts of wrong. But my driver of the day is in here. It's Dav. It's 1969. Absolutely superb driving you're about to see from this driver. Superb. Driver of the week, sorry, not even driver of the day. Driver of the week, as they go side by side here with Falcon. They gave him just enough room there. Just back out of it for now. Some superb driving here. As we then head towards this right-hander. This is a problem with nicknames, by the way, because I can't even shout out your PSN. But even so, if you see Dav 1969, you know you could have a good race. So just get a little bit too much oversteer on traction there. So we go for the move, and we're going to go try and go around the outside here. And this is why they are driver of the week here. Look at this. They gave me just enough room. Beautiful stuff here from Dav. Look at this. Side by side all the way up the hill. Normally you expect to get run wide. I was expecting it. I didn't get it. Absolutely superb. In towards the braking zone then. Falcon's got 6 seconds of penalties now. That's not good. But Dav up the inside of both of us. Gets the position done. Superb move there. Absolutely brilliant from the French driver as we head down the hill then. And they're going to come across here and take their normal line. Absolutely brilliant stuff from this driver. I'll see if I can see their PSN at some point. I'll put it on the screen for you if I don't. But through the right-hander we go. And it is just status quo for now. As I say, my driver of the day. This is where I need that graphic. I need to make the graphic for driver of the week. I really do. And then you can see this driver and be like, yes, I'm going to get a clean race. Because this is superb racing. Anyway, we head through the double left-hander here. And they're still defending very nicely. And we're looking now round the outside. This is not really going to work here at all. As you can see, they're gaining an advantage. Or is it going to work here? We still say... Oh, beautiful. Oh, nice superb driving there from the French driver. Gave me just enough room on the left kink there. And we are side by side here, heading down towards turn 1 then. Who's going to have the advantage? It looks like I've got the advantage finally then up into the curves position. But what beautiful racing there for an entire lap there from Dav 1969. Absolute shout out to you. Right, so we're heading up to the hairpin then. We've advanced a bit further on here. We've pulled that gap to the French driver behind. And we have Zooby Doody up ahead, just going off there, just going returning from the grass. They've got the hazards on, so maybe they've had a hardware failure. I wasn't too sure here. But as we head down towards this right-hander, again, they go off, so I'm thinking, oh, they must be really broken here or something. So I'm trying to get up the inside, easily alongside here. They just turned in a little bit there while I was there. Nothing major, but we're going to get that position up into P5. We're going to go into a lap guide now as we look to catch the Megane Trophy. So heading towards turn 1, you'll notice the 100-meter board and then the painted orange barrier. In the Supra, I'm braking just after the painted orange barrier. I'm actually doing some hand signals here, so just after that. Normally it's third gear in most cars. You want to clip the curb and then just accelerate through. It's nice and easy as we continue on then towards the next turn. We're using the same brake marker we did in GT Sport. So you're looking on the left, you've got the painted orange barrier, but then you have this tarmac. I use this tarmac. So just after that tarmac passes my screen, I brake. Again, it's going to be fourth or third gear depending on how I feel in the car. This would be third gear this time because I'm behind somebody. Hit the curb. You accelerate a bit here and then you want to sort of clip the curb, go out and then come back in. And we don't quite clip the curb there as we head towards the braking zone here. Now, you want to actually use the end of the curb in time trial. White Van Man isn't there, but in the race, use White Van Man. He's very clear and obvious, so still in the game. Thank you, Polyphony Digital, for keeping White Van Man in. Anyway, through the right-hander we go, and the Megane Trophy just keeping his position still at the moment. Good driving from Mag Ford. In towards the left we go. You just lift and turn in, and then when you're happy, start bouncing the car. Now, as that marshal box gets to the center of your screen, so I've gone a bit early here on the throttle, but normally in the center, so where Mag Ford is right now, that's when you accelerate and you will make the corner. You will make the corner if you've done it right. It's a good accelerating marker. Use it. As we then head up the hills. I'm going to just show my nose a little bit here. I'm just trying to scare them. In towards the braking zone, though. You're braking just before the 50-meter board on the right-hand side. The marshal box is there as well if you want to use that, but I use the 50-meter board. And just before it, in towards the braking zone. And we're trying to keep it tight here and accelerate through the corner. Be careful when you do keep it tight, though, because it's a crest, and obviously the tighter you take it, the more extreme the weight transition. You may get a bit of oversteer on the exit. Heading down towards this right-hander, you got that pole on the right-hand side. So what you want to do is you want to brake just before this, and you sort of want to brake hard and then lift off and just turn in and clip the curb and bounce the car. Notice how I brake hard, I then release the brakes, and I'm just trying to bounce the car through there. Be careful about running too wide. And then you want to lift off and turn in here. You might dab the brake in some cars, but you turn in before the end of the curb there. Turn in and let the car just roll through the corner a little bit there. Dab the brake, and now I'm trying to bounce the car as best as I can as we continue on towards this left. Now, you want to turn in a little bit here, and as you go straight is when you're going to go on the brakes. Dab the brakes there, and I'm just trying to slow the car down a little bit. You go wide to come back here because you want a better line for this left-hander to give you a nice straight run there. Notice how much we catch up to the Megane. And then for the next left-hander, before the end of that curve, you're turning in. Some cars, again, you'll need a dab of the brake. Others is just a lift. So you'll have to just trial and error that depending on the car you use. Through we go, and then we're going to get towards the left-hand side. Now, again, the end of the curb. Use that curb. Sometimes it's just before the end of the curb. You want to dab the brake and lift off and let the car roll through this corner. It's a very long corner, nearly 180 degrees. So notice how I'm just slowing the speed down, trying to get the car turned. And then I'm using that piece of tarmac there. You could use a barrier that we just passed as well, but that piece of tarmac is my goal. I use that as my accelerating marker, knowing that if I accelerate at that point, if I accelerate before it, I'm just pushing my luck a little bit. But at that point, I will make the corner. I will make the corner and I can continue on. And that is a lap guide of Autopolis here in GT7. Right, we're going to race to go ahead with. So we've got a run on Mag Ford, the Megane Trophy. Not very quick in a straight line still, even with this balanced performance. In towards the braking zone we go. And they're looking to outbrake me in towards turn 1 then. And they're not going to quite do it. But brilliant race there with Mag Ford as well. Right, we catch up to Momoz. I said Momoz would appear in this race. In the Genesis, we've got, what's that up in the distance? I think it's a Lexus maybe. I can't fully tell as we go through this right-hander. And we got Sergio in the distance as well. Actually, that has my race number in their name. Interesting. In towards the left-hander we go again. That marshal box in the center. Accelerate. Look at that. Every time. It is a lovely marker. Oh, Pirat is off there in the grass. That's going to mean some understeer at the hairpin. Oh, they got a penalty as well. So in we go. So Momoz looking on the inside here. Momoz gets all sorts of oversteer correct. It tries to stop the oversteer there. That wasn't on purpose. That was a clear mistake. Nothing major there, and Pratt's got a penalty, so there's no point Momoz waiting up there further. But we get the double position there. A shout out to Momoz, because we have seen Momoz improve and change as a driver. GT7 now. Let's see Momoz racing fair and clean throughout. It'll be awesome to see. So a shout out to you, Momoz. But that is the end of the race. And that is the end of this week's race guide as we come across in P2. Not too bad from P14, I think it was. Not the end of the world at all in the slightest. And as I say, huge shout out to Dav there. Oh, we see the PSN for you there. So 69 in the name as well. Happy days. Happy days. As I say, that is it for this week. If you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. Subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. There's 2 videos there for you if you want to check those out. But that's it for me this week. Thank you very much. Good luck for the week. Au revoir and farewell.